Rampa remembers that we were very hungry. The early days, and the hustle of DJ friends for a chance at events. Members of the Berlin-based Keinemusik collective. It's been 15 years since Rampa, and me, Reznik, Adam Port, and the label's artist Monja Gentschow came together for the show. With their coordinated shoulder shrugs, dismissive humor, and streetwear uniforms, they resemble more of a skateboarding crew. Everyone still plays back-to-back just like at the very beginning. But now, where the youthful enthusiasm has faded, they have a lasting communal life. The secret to the crew's longevity is a relaxed friendship and good timing. For a group that owes much of their success to their main headquarters, none of them are frequently found in Berlin these days. In many ways, their music is a microcosmic reflection of the city. They were established based on their musical desires during the heyday of cheap rent and do-it-yourself raves, when clubs like Picnic, Weekend, and Cookies were still in full swing. Back then, the Mitte district was the hub of activity. In 2010, during the first year of their new project, they had already gained a local following. But the rest of the world didn't care about us, laughs NB. That's no longer the case. Now, busy with intercontinental concerts, Keinemusik performs in Berlin only twice a year. They go out even less. Recently, I went to Panorama Bar once, says Rampa, who describes himself as a sensitive person. The fundamental difference was that I felt sober and old, and tired. With percussive tribal effects and intense melodies, Keine's music, techno house productions, and DJ sets contain an infectious positivity. Some might find their commitment to uplifting spirits on the dance floor cheesy. However, there is no doubt about how they have captivated so many ears. Hand Me attributes their rise to an earnest approach to music. He says, "We don't think about it too much." Adam Port insists that they have grown steadily and in a very German way over time. The collective dynamic is so intertwined that even their productions are eerily in sync with each other. Last week, an organizer asked me if a single person made our mix, because everything sounded the same to him, says and me. But no, everyone is doing their own thing independently. We communicate every day through phone calls and WhatsApp group chats. In addition to film editing, they also hold weekly Tuesday meetings. In the summer, they play tennis together. Reznik once added that they even went to the cinema to watch Star Wars. However, none of them exactly remember which episode it was. Their basement studio, furnished with bright red oriental rugs, is adorned with artifacts related to Kanye's music origin story. Above the monitors, there is a framed photo of the Tricks, recording studios in Kreuzberg, known for clients like Wu-Tang Clan and Wolfgang Tillmans. In 2006, Ant Me, who was a production intern, first connected with Rampa, a commercial producer, there due to their shared love for hip-hop music. It was like being in a candy store, Rampa recalls. Hand Me would work 12 and 14 hours and then invite his friends, who couldn't afford their own equipment, to experiment with the equipment throughout the night. In the morning, when the studio owner arrived, everything would be hastily put back in its place as if it had never been touched. Then, Hand Me would start the next day's shift. Details about how Adam, Port, and Reznik got involved in the source music are evidence of the overlapping aspects of Berlin's nightlife. Adam says, "We always knew that someone knew someone." The duo met shortly after Reznik, who was a music journalist at the time, moved to the city in 2006. They were both part of the same circles and quickly bonded over their shared interest in hardcore and punk music during their youth. Adam introduced Reznik to Rampa, whom he met at a party and occasionally hunted records with. Reznik met Andy Me through Rampa. Andy Me and Adam came together at another party. In 2007, before the idea of Keinemusik was more conceptualized, the team played as resident DJs at a picnic, and they became friends with Monja, who was one of the bartenders and is now their visual director. 2 years later, the full family became official. For the first 4 years, they organized their own nights at Cookies, Picnic, and the Prinz Lauerberg Club Villa. Eventually, we were invited to play in Leipzig, Cologne, and then all over Germany for really crappy money, says Endme. Their scope expanded to Switzerland, Italy, and Norway in 2014. Rampa recalls that the concert in Oster was the first one where a hotel was paid for. Keinemusik occupied the attic of Stadtbed Wedding for 5 years. They organized parties on the lower floor, in the empty pool, and in the boiler room below. There were heterosexuals, there were gangs, there were tough guys, there were ravers, there were hippies, Rampa recalls. Now people seem to be getting in between, more single type. By 2014, the collective's frequent spots, Picnic and Cookies, had been retired. The following year, municipal authorities evacuated Stadtbad due to fire safety violations. Rampa says, "It was really sad because my grandmother used to take swimming lessons there." The closure of the pool coincided with a year when Rampa was trying to overcome tour exhaustion. Where the once public pool was located, there is now a block of luxury apartments. Just as Berlin internationalized its clubs, the same happened with the source music. The collective is no longer tied to a venue. Today, they go on a world tour to play at distant scenes in Bulgaria, Morocco, Abu Dhabi, and Mexico. When their beloved Berlin venues disappeared, the source music mourned this loss while also carrying their sensibilities elsewhere. Anniversaries painted by Monja with rectangular patches of tertiary colors. Hand in Hand, EPC, reminisces about their priceless memories. On the road, in the studio, or somewhere in between. Touches of 80s synths, distinct drum kits, and bright hooks make the release shine with heartfelt nostalgia. This in-betweenness in the description seems to imply the liminal spaces the DJs traverse together. From local to world touring artists, from old to new studios, and from the end of a golden nightlife era to the beginning of a more industrialized one. After all these changes, there is a confident ease in the approach to the source music. Now the source is 15 years old, and in the words of the Ramp, no one is hungry anymore.